So just going to give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone else pops in, and then we'll get started. Hi, Trudy. How are you, lovely? Just going to, you know what, we'll just get started. We'll just do it as a replay anyway. So today, creating so TOV, so tone of voice, document or content style guidelines, whatever you'd like to call it. Just jump in, look, cancel that one. Oops, don't mind me, all over the place. Gonna see. Okay. So what we're going to go through today is what a tone of voice document is, and that's what I call it. So I'm just going to call it that all the way through. So what it is, why it's a good idea to have one, even if you're just running everything yourself, and what it does. So your tone of voice guide will make sure that your tone and your message and your voice is consistent across the board. So over your social media, your blogs, your website content, your printed material, any advertising that you have in store, your business cards, all of that sort of stuff. So we'll guide your team on how to write and communicate with your audiences. And I use that plural because a lot of people have more than one specific audience, but I will get into that. I say team, that can be people that you outsource, or if you have family helping you, or you end up with actual employees and part of their responsibility is to help you create content. It will allow you to maintain a recognizable quality and a brand identity. So what we'd love is that eventually people will be scrolling through their Instagram or something like that and see a post and instantly know that looks like you. So that looks like Trudy, or that looks like Connie, and they'll stop them and look closer. And all of this goes together to result in more effective and efficient content. There is no point in pumping out content that no one's going to read, that no one's going to connect with, that no one's going to engage with, and that's not going to result in sales. Unless you're just doing it for the sound of your own voice and, for love, that's cool. But if we're actually wanting to make a sustainable business and have our content have some kind of return on investment, then we need to make sure that we're doing it efficiently and effectively. So why you need it, like I said, it helps you to put your audience first. So ideally your content is going to tap into their needs, their wants, their expectations. And like I've said lots of time to quite a few of you, it's identifying those barriers and then breaking them down and providing a solution to them. It ensures that you have consistency across the board. So everything should look and sound like you. What else have we got? Good habits. Okay. A lot of what we do, particularly when we get into the, batching up content, repurposing content, a tone of voice document or a content style guide will help you ensure that it's consistent and that you have those great habits. Okay. And again, all over making for better content. Okay. This is going to help you to get your personality of your business and yourself, your values, your mission, your current trends as well. And it's going to merge all that and swirl all that together and create some beautiful, impactful, memorable content. And memorable is important. I was reading the other day that we get bombarded with about, 3,000 specific messages every single day. Yourself, you jump onto your Facebook or your Instagram and there's messages coming at you all over the place, 3,000. And on average, we only take in and retain 4 of those messages. So if you want to be one of those 4 messages that people remember, you've got to get it right. So who can create it? You can create this yourself. Yes, you can. This is why I'm here, to make it really, really easy so you can do this stuff yourself. You can do it with your team, should you have one, or you can get someone like me to help you put it together. Okay. When is a good time to create it? It's open-ended, right? Okay. So it's like your website. It's like your social media. It is going to evolve. It's not a set and forget. It's something that you're going to have to revisit every now and then. So that leads to, when is a good time? Any time is a good time. Sooner the better, though, because then your content will have that structure and will have that consistency, and it's not going to be sort of airy-fairy all over the place where people kind of go, you know what, I don't think she has a clue what she's doing. If you look back on stuff that I did when I first started out on my own, 3-4 years ago, it looks very, very disjointed and very, very, very disjointed to what I'm doing now. And that's cool. I'm not going to go in and delete all of that, because that's part of my journey and that's part of my evolution. But again, it sort of shows that you need to be a bit on task to ensure that you've got that consistency coming through. Now, what do you want to create? Okay, it can be a Word doc. Okay, it can be a PDF. Mine is a PDF because I just wanted to make it look a little bit pretty. You can do a PowerPoint presentation if that's still your thing, if you're still using that. It doesn't matter. Try and keep it to 4 or 5 pages, okay? Because if it's too long, again, you'll just start to lose people. So what we want to do is we want to make it really, really simple to follow, so that anybody, this is the point, anybody could pick it up. I know that Trudy's in here, so I'm just going to use you. Your daughter, ideally, your daughter would be able to grab your tone of voice document, and because it's only 4 or 5 pages long and it's really clear and it's really simple, she can go, right, this is the tone of voice that I want to use when I create content for, Trudy Baines doula. That sort of stuff. So it should be really, really easy. Where do you keep it? That is totally up to you. I'm a bit of a hard copy girl sometimes, and I have printed out my tone of voice document and I have it in a folder with all my other stuff, like my brand personalities, buyer personas, and all of that kind of stuff, so that I can physically flip through it and look at it. You might have it saved in your Dropbox or on your PC, or some organizations, and this is actually really cool for you, because you can now Google tone of voice documents and you can actually see, usually bigger companies, when they've got their tone of voice document on the internet, on their websites. You can do that too. I'm a little dubious about that, because I think I'm a bit personal, and I'm not sure that I want to give everything that I'm planning to do and my mission and my values and all of that sort of stuff out into the huge wide world. But that's your call. So the nitty-gritty of how we do this is it's really quite very simple. Again, know your people. Okay, know who you're talking to. You can't, but you shouldn't be creating any content until you've worked out who your audience are, who you're talking to. It could just be a little bit of demographic research, or it could be really, really in-depth, your buyer personas. If you missed that was the webinar for last month, and I will pop a link in so you can find that one if you want to go that way. So yeah, know who you're talking to. You need to know yourself. So what do you stand for? What makes you unique? What is your promise? What is your purpose? Your why? Okay, and I say this all of the time. The point of the content is to, yes, solve solutions and provide the benefits of what you do and all of that sort of stuff, but it's also to communicate your why. Why do you do what you do? And when you're able to connect that with people, then they will start paying attention. Who are your competitors, and how do they communicate, and how do they present themselves? I don't want you to get bogged down on your competitors. Stay in your own lane, do your thing. I've said it a million times, but keeping a little eye on your competition is healthy. Okay, a little bit of competition. Don't worry too much about what they're doing, and obviously you do not want to sound like them. Okay, and then part of getting to know yourself is, how are you communicating your uniqueness, what you stand for, what your why is, to people outside of your business. Okay, now if you have a team, if you have people that work in your business, so I know that some people I've talked to recently, it was a partnership, or like Trudy, you have other people that work in your business and take classes. Talk to them. and have a chat with, and ask them how they see this. What do they think is unique about what you do? What do they think are the values that you stand for? And if you've got consistency across your entire team's answers, awesome, moving on. You've nailed it. If not, then there might be some more work to do. Okay, so maybe sit down and have a chat and have a cup of coffee or have a lunch or something like that, and kind of really get into the nitty gritty and define what it is. If you're too close to your business, ask other people. Don't take it as gospel, but ask your friends and family how they view your business. Okay, don't ask any sort of narcissist or negative people. Ask the positive people. Ask the people who support you. Tell them, I don't want the crap though. Don't bullshit me. I need to know. How do you view my business? How do I come across? Then you need to grow your voice and your tone. Okay, so your voice is something that is consistent. Okay, it's your style. It's your point of view. It's your brand personality. It should not change. Okay, are you casual? Are you more formal? Do you use slang? Do you use your own recognizable words? Do you use acronyms? Okay, is LOL appropriate in your content, or is it not? So with Trudy, with yoga, is namaste okay? Is using terms like yogi okay? That sort of stuff. Tone is specific to the message. Okay, so that's an attitude, and it can change slightly depending on the type of message that you are portraying. Okay, and there's little exercises in there that you can have a go. So you want to work out what your personality is, and then come up with an idea of how you would write that, but then also to how you would not write that and why. Okay, so my example is, so your voice is excitement. So you write like this: to appease the god of Google, we create a blog with 300 keyword optimized words. Okay, got to Google, probably not everybody's cup of tea, but that's kind of, it's how I talk. And my thing is quite, I get very excited about digital marketing, but also too, I'm quite no tech bullshit kind of thing. So I would not write, to ensure search engine optimization SEO best practice, will produce a blog post with 300 words and a keyword density of no more than 2%, blah, 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 blah. Okay, my people, that's just going to straight over the top of their head. Besides, that's a really, really long sentence. Why? And the why, my rationale for that is because my clients do not want to be bogged down with or bored by the tech of it all. They want to know, yep, I know what I'm doing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 300 words in a blog. It's going to be keyword optimized, so you don't have to worry about that. And why? Google. Okay, they don't want the ins and outs of the tech and the algorithms and any of that sort of stuff. Okay, so you can develop your voice in 4 steps. Okay, 1 is use 3 words to express your personality. Okay, and again, just brainstorm this. Okay, so make sure that the words that you use aren't really ambiguous. Okay, I was talking to some people yesterday about words like, helpful. Helpful to you might mean something really, really different to what helpful means to Emily. Okay, so try and get those words that capture your personality, but that aren't easily misunderstood, I suppose. Identify what makes you stand out. What makes you different? Okay, you don't have to be slap in people's faces and be totally out there and controversial, especially if that's not what your people are looking for. But you do want to show why you're unique. And this is a great quote here. When you write like everyone else, you're saying our products are like everyone else's. Okay, and this is kind of part of my 2019 kind of vendetta type thing. Banish the beige words. Use those power words to show your uniqueness. Do not write like everybody else. I mean, I jumped on a website this morning and I was like, oh, it's the same as everybody else's. And I was actually getting really irritated because scrolling through their website, their homepage, their services, they didn't have an About Us page, which drove me a little bit batty. But trying to pull out, and this is what I was asked, give me a rundown on this company. And it was really difficult for me to find out what it was that made them special and made them unique in a text message I could send back, because it sounded all so similar to everybody else's. So be different. Like I said, you don't have to be overly controversial, but be different, be unique. So number 3 is listen to your audience, okay? Watch them, stalk them a little bit, have a look at how they communicate. Are they formal, or are they very casual? Do they have a sense of humor? If so, what kind? Okay, humor can be a tricky one, okay, but humor is really, really good. It's a really great way to connect and engage with people. Just be a little bit careful if you're sort of skewing onto that sort of darker sense of humor, which, you know, I can tend to skew towards sometimes and get into a little bit of trouble. And number 4, and it sounds ridiculous as a step, but don't force it. Engaging with your audience is the next step. Okay, your tone is going to set the path that you want them to follow, and the best way to do that is just to relax. Okay, you know, again, have that bit of excitement, have that uniqueness in the style in which you write. If it's flat, if it's dull, bleh, you're just going to lose them. If you're too persistent, if you're too pushy, you're too in their face, if it's too forced, it's not going to work. Okay. Again, there are lots of bits and pieces in here about it's not just copy, okay, as we know it. It's not just your website. This document that you're going to create, or this process that you're going to go through, goes through everything that you put out, okay? So your videos, you can use infographics, you can use blogs, your website, you know, your business cards, you know, all of that kind of thing. This tone and voice will go through all of that. Okay, so now you can pull it all together. So like I said, 4 or 5 pages, that's kind of all we're looking for, really. Again, there's no right or wrong way, okay? You can add stuff, you can take stuff out, you can make changes. I suggest that you do, okay? This is an ongoing document for your company. This is something that is going to evolve with you, okay? Pick an external style guide or style book. More so important if you are going to outsource to a company or to a freelancer, or if you are going to hire someone in. And so perhaps you've got an admin person where part of their job is to create, you know, social media posts or something like that. Particularly if part of their job is to create like more sort of documents, if you get my drift, you know, reports or, you know, formal proposals, quotes, emails, stuff like that. An external style book is basically going to give a rundown of how you deal with lots of grammar and punctuation, capitalization, things like that. There's lots out there that can give you a solid foundation. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. And guaranteed you spend hours and hours and hours going through and creating like a style book of your own, you'll miss something. Absolutely. So there's lots of ones. You can just Google these ones that are on there, and they're free to use on the internet. Some you may have to, like, you know, sign up for an account and, you know, generate a password, something like that. I personally, from my proofreading, copy editing training days, I have a hard copy, The Style Manual, 6th edition for authors, editors, etc., etc. And I love that. Also, too, when I stuck on something and I'm not 100% sure how to write it, taking that little break and picking up my hard copy style manual and opening it up and finding it and double checking or finding the answer just gives you that little bit of a break. And I like hard copy. Now, then determine the grammar and the punctuation. So again, the external style guide is going to give you heaps of that. But then what you want to do is just add in stuff that's tailored for your business specifically. And if there's things that, you know, arise for your team quite often, you know, things like, you know, is website 2 words? Is it 1 word? Is internet with a lowercase or a capital I? And so a lot of this strictly either is fine. So it comes down to a personal choice. A lot of copy editing now is, you know, like, it's so great because a lot of grammar rules and stuff like that, we can bend them these days. We can twist them, we can throw them out the window, we can break them. And that's totally fine as long as you are consistent in how you do it. Okay. There's a lot of, you know, people kind of, you know, is copywriting 1 word? Is it copywriting 2 words? Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. As long as throughout my copy, I am consistent with that. And the same with when I work with a lot of people in the birth industry, you know, is postnatal one word or two, postpartum, etc., etc. And it's totally fine. It's your business, it's your style, it's your tone, it's your voice. So you have it however the hell you like. Just make sure that you always have it the same way. Okay, what do you capitalize? Do you capitalize the names of your packages? Do you capitalize all the big words in a blog title? How do you abbreviate? You know, what's your feeling on the Oxford comma? Totally overrated, by the way. How do you write dates and times and things like that? And again, this is all just little things. You don't have to do all of these. The things that work for your business, the things that crop up in your business, so that you're having that consistent and you don't have to go back and quit changing things and checking things. Your team knows what to do. And again, that's something you can keep adding to. Then you get your style and your tone. So we're going to get a list of 3 or 5 words that describe your voice. And then you're going to create one of what we're not. Okay. And we're going to cover things in this bit where what sort of voice are you using? Do you write in first person, second person, third? How do you handle jargon, text speak, and legalese? You know, things like that. So you just jot all of this down. Like I said, your tone of voice document could just be a Word doc. And you could just go through and pop all of this in so that your team can scan it and go, right, that's how we do it. So here's an example of being straight talking. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that you write in a clear, concise, and direct way. It does not mean that you are rude or you dumb things down or you're aggressive. Okay, how do you convey that? You're focused and you get to the point. Plan out your key messages and action points before you create the content, and you stick to one theme at a time. Okay, then you think about your audience. What is important to them? What are their barriers? Is it price? Is it reputation? And how can you be as simple as possible without losing that impact? You know, straight talking voice, you're probably going to really struggle to have that come across in an article, you know, that's 1,500 words long, or an hour-long seminar. Okay, so you would probably go for short videos and snippets. Okay, we don't be repetitive and we don't have huge bits of copy. We have short paragraphs, no jargon. We steer clear of cliches and overused metaphors. Okay, and then again, back to personas, we put our personas in. Now with my tone of voice document, I don't have a huge amount in this document about my buyer personas because I have a separate buyer persona guide for that where I go through my 3 buyer personas, my 1 negative persona. And then we outline the content types. So the types of content that are going to appeal for my audiences, and I can do this separately. So for my retail clients, so my rebels, my renegades, my rule breakers, I might have one type of content, and then for my white label people, I might have a different type of content altogether. For them, I might do an email newsletter. Car alarm going off. I'm hoping that's not mine. Okay. Might just have a look out the window. Sorry, Trudy. It is. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna leave you here for a sec. Oh, it's not. Probably should go check. Hang on. I'm going to talk as I walk, and then we're going to put together our formatting. And then this one I'm just going to quickly go through is your approved and unapproved content. So particularly with when you're talking about birth and things like that, make sure there's no one trying to steal the car. Okay, so what we've got is people that we will listen to and people that we won't listen to, and then their work that we will use for research. And okay, so that is about it. Now, I've got a sample template and all this sort of stuff, which is in my mini course, which I'll drop the link in and you can buy that. It's like 17 bucks. and then you can download it, you can print it off, you can scribble all over it, and you can add all of your bits and pieces in. So I've got a couple minutes left if you wanted to ask any questions, Trudy, because you're my only babe here. So I will just go back to this. And did you have any questions, Trudy, before I go and run away? You can even see me like hanging out in my overalls now. Oh, try now, hun. Oh, I don't think I can hear you. Just see if I can find chat. Did you want to type it in the group chat? Because I can't hear you. Here. You know what, babe? I'm going to go, but Facebook message me any questions and I'll answer them for you there. Is that okay? Oh, any questions? Oh, thanks, babe. All right, I'm going to go and, yeah, have another look around, make sure no one's trying to steal the car because the lights are still flashing. Thanks, Han, for joining me, and I will catch you soon. Catch you. Bye.